hard to do? You got a kick from your knee right now. Yeah. If you had, you need a little rack for your computer beside the pool so you can work.
Oh goodness, we are lucky to have a computer. Let's not stress it.
Don't bump your head.
Yes, well,
I wouldn't do too much.
Yeah, no,
I think you just come a little
I think you're right, yes. See, what I was just saying was, you kick from your hip on the, when you swim. Not a really good idea.
Just
How to alter that swimming technique for a bit.
This is great. There should be a public pool every few blocks, and they should be equipped with this as well as the regular things. Because, I mean, old people need swimming so much, and you find a nursing home that's got something like this, and it's probably, you know, very expensive, yeah.
It is. We have to have everything checked several times a day. I know, isn't that
Well, this is the neatest thing you've got to do in a long time.
Well, there's we used to call it the old ladies' home across the street from where my folks, where I grew up, and now it's mixed facilities that they have a new pool like this, but they don't use it much.
Okay, now sit back, relax, watch him. Oh.
He's up in there. Oh, he went way deep in.
I see.
It's a real red bird.
Well, you know, all these species that lived in these woods, they just cleared 28 acres of, and now we're getting to see more of them. They're coming to us more.
They have sugar in them. They're not
Nice
saccharine or
biscuits.
anything.
No, they're real biscuits from England.
Real biscuits?
Yeah. Well, cookies.
That's what they call them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nice biscuits, they call them. Yeah, I don't know what this is going to be like, but it looked interesting. It's barbecue in the tub.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Barbecue.
Light for a second or two.
Right, well, you guys are going to get the paperwork done on the car.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that hadn't been done yet.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, that wrapper touched the outside of this box and got sauce on it, so I
Oh
gotta
my
throw the box away now.
God.
Oh, I'm not sticking it in the corner for the mice, ants, and roaches. to
Well, that's a good point.
eat.
Alternatively, you could take it to the sink and wash
Take
it.
it on out to the garbage now.
Well, it was about empty.
Garbage is already bagged up.
So the bus comes at 1:30?
1:45.
Okay. So you just plan to be down there at
On the
1:30?
outside of that package is there. Those need to
That's
go in
pretty
that.
good stuff.
Yeah, I tasted it while I was heating it up, and it is pretty good. You don't want any of these. Laid a baggie out separate for this for going, and then it might be underneath this plate or somewhere on here.
Well, what's that over here behind you?
Those are the ones I pulled out of the box.
Well, we want to use the one that you pulled out special for us. We want to find the one that you put out special. Yeah. Those your keys on the Gatorade or?
The keys I was using, I don't need them anymore.
You're keeping the one copy of that car key, right?
Got one in my handbag.
Okay.
The one that Harold gave me.
Okay. So is this two together?
I'd be scared to use it.
Well, right when you think that it's too late, that you should have done it the day before, then it finally turns up and you don't use it. That's the way that works, but you should never surrender anything that gives you any access, because it's like you just get so terrified
You're
waiting,
individually wrapped, right?
trying to find out what's going on. But you wish you, well, if I just had a key, I'd go in there. You just can't live with it days and days.
I don't think so.
What about this, Tony?
You're gonna get me a
Shares,
box of
are you
pepper.
trying to take this home?
I wish you hadn't taught her like those
Not
sitcoms.
sure how cold it is yet.
It won't be that cold anyhow.
What brand is
You'll be
that?
able to drink it anyway.
Well, it's regular Dr. Pepper, caffeine free.
Oh, that's right. It's in a pretty color.
Sugar, but it doesn't have
I had a soda pop about twice in a year,
You haven't even drinking it.
10 times in 10
Pour
years or
that
something.
in here with this. 'Cause this was in there chilling.
You're not spilling much, do you? Just
It's just water. Water doesn't attract animals or insects.
that's true.
And if I wipe it up, it'll make a clean spot.
Yeah.
I didn't want to set it down because then it ended up with something on it. I don't know if that's the guy from Too Close for Comfort, that show about the family in San Francisco with Ted Knight. Monroe, remember that character?
Yeah.
It's gotta be him.
Could be.
He's so goofy. I used to think he was the same guy that was like on Happy Days, the
Weird, goofy
best,
cousin.
yeah. But he's not. They just kind of look similar.
This is supposed to be a takeoff on Rosemary's
Yeah,
Baby.
exactly.
Did you watch Rosemary's Baby when it came out?
Yeah. 40 years ago.
This is their takeoff.
So,
My God, Darlene, their names spell out evil demon Satan. Yes, and they also spell out Saint Damien, not out.
All right, it's about time to take off.
Kid in the omen. Listen, we're gonna get you out here now. I'm having the baby right now.
You better go to the toilet when this time. You get pinched off.
You shouldn't be here, Roseanne. This is my first grandkid, and I'll be damned if I don't see it.
How ironic. You'll also be damned if you do.
He chose your daughter. You should be very honored.
Oh dear.
Oh, my baby. Just one little bit of question.
huh.
These captions drive me crazy. I can't decide whether to watch the program or read the
Well,
caption.
yeah.
No, it's all right.
When you click off on them with that
Yeah,
thing,
but I don't know.
well, I don't know
I'm not going
how.
to be here long enough to learn now. So.
Yeah.
The child anytime you like. It'll be hot, but it's nice dry heat.
No, not so fast. I
I hope I can sleep soon. Got my sweater there. It's going to be cold. I noticed coming
On the
up
bus.
here, it's really cold.
So you do have the sweater.
Yeah, you're leaning on it.
Uh,
Turn my sleeves down when I get on there. I had to try to remember to dress in the warmest stuff I had with me today.
well, it's only a short distance down there, but it might be good to get on down there. She's got your little snack. You got your little snack.
Stuff's in the car.
Stuff's in the car. Mm. So she'll have two keys on here.
Oh, I told her she should separate them. There's no point in having
Yeah,
some.
well, I think she's learned to do that now. Part.
I filled it up with gas.
Oh.
Shouldn't have to do that for long.
That's good. Well, the first thing I'd like to do is not have her start driving instead of the truck right away, but have it go out to
Yeah.
the man
Let him do the
and
last
let him
bits on it.
read all those instructions of Harold's and kind of get a priority list of what needs to be done and what could be done later, so that, you know, obviously decorative things are not too, but the hood closes and the tail.
The hood closes, though, if you look at it, it looks
doesn't look
like
right.
it's kind of askew, but it closes just fine.
Well, he may be able to do a little
The trunk's brilliant.
adjust.
You open the trunk from the inside
Ah,
and on the floor.
okay.
And the gas, you know, the cap
Right.
cover for the gas. You do that.
So how is it? Whose birthday's coming up in Louisiana?
Lorna's,
How old is Lorna?
she will be 73.
Hmm. Okay, how old is your cousin?
Boys.
Boys.
She's 4 years older than I am.
So she'll be 69. Amazing. Remember when it was people older than your parents that were the old people.
Now we're the old people.
Yeah, it's extreme edge of things. Did you ever look at my Faye Jones pictures online? See that? I don't know if I told you about how that. Lauren's ex-husband Vince came to visit, and one of the things I wanted to do was show him, because he knew about him, you know, and he admired what's the architect Faye Jones studied with, Frank Lloyd Wright, you know. So we just happened to go over there, and I shot pictures. I didn't have a video camera, and I didn't have a tape recorder with me, so I didn't get what he said. But for Vince, it was a real treat to meet one of the, well, not his hero so much as one of the people he admired, and the kind of work he understood. And because Vince has an MFA, but in fine art, but he also grew up as a teenager in a machinist shop. He was working as a machinist from age 12 or something. So he had a very broad background, that kind of stuff. So anyway, but the pictures turned out pretty good, and like Roy Reed really liked them, because he'd done a lot of interviews with Faye, so he liked the pictures online. But those were the last pictures made of him, and it just happened to be that I would have gotten there and got him. But he was sort of wheelchair bound at the time. I don't know. He never got out of he was in a seat with a wheelchair sitting there. He never got out from behind his desk for an hour or two or whatever long we did there. Well, Dee, you ready to take your mom down to the bus station? You better go speak to her, because you know, they could do something and think nobody's there and drive on.
Big close-up.
Huh?
Thought you were taking pictures.
No. I wonder if you took that painting up to Barbara's, she would recognize immediately that was.
Well, she might,
Terry.
because I think her strongest memories are of the time she spent with Terry.
Yeah.
She doesn't remember a whole lot sort of after that.
Huh.
What's the TV off?
Because we're going out of the house.
That's the very last thing you did when you're walking out of the house.
Oh, I see.
That was.
I leave mine on a lot, just all the time.
We're going to make you run behind the car to catch up with
Roseanne is speaking.
Yeah. That would be an important consideration. Well, anyway,
Tell you what, I've got some concert photos in there. I couldn't look out the window.
where were you?
In that room.
Oh, you in this room?
Got curtains nailed just in case somebody could see a crack in there.
Well, at times that seemed necessary to her, but lately it may not be.
It's just
It's a little extreme.
frustrating when you can't, because I'd hear things out here and I think, well, I'd like to see what's going on.
Yeah, I can have me spy holes in those things I have to look at.
The only thing, I hope we get that window back on track. I bought her some plastic weatherproof tape
Is it in there? Well,
in her house.
this boy can do that for us if I can get it. If
I
she
don't
doesn't,
think that's on the list. I'm not sure.
well, he'll see
You'll
it.
see that, it's obvious.
In fact, that may be the only thing I do instantly is get him
Yeah,
to fix
because
that.
next time it rains,
Hmm.
trouble here.
And then she'll say that it stinks worse and blah, blah, blah.
Well, she said today, you know, that Febreze stuff must have worked a bit.
Oh,
You're as bad as I am with my digital. Mine, I keep mine.
Could you just get a plate? You remember operating the camera, don't you? This is a video, yeah. We got it so that we wouldn't use the other one.
by George, you can use that spoon all right, can't you?
And when it comes to food, this is a good one.
This is a good arm.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, where's your brace?
Oh, I'm off the brace.
You are
Wow.
legitimately?
I just have to wear it when I go in public, so people don't come out and slap me on it.
Uh-huh.
Hey, Aubrey.
Gotcha.
How you doing?
I see Clem can.
Okay.
Let me go.
This place look familiar to you a little bit? Oh, heavens no.
Me and you both.
Hello. Right, here.
Hey, how are you?
Mama will sit down here with a chocolate pie.
Only a 90-degree angle.
They put a net on it so we can tighten it up.
Yeah, it's a big long brick. He thinks he'll cut me loose. So I think it's gonna be the next couple of weeks are just gonna be like reminding myself not to do stuff.
I was playing really down, not saying a word about my birthday. When you're 72 years old, you don't go around. Just glad
I
to
think
be
you'd be real proud to have made it.
Yeah, it's quite an achievement.
Oh, I put you a blinking pin on here.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you?
Yes, they worked there pretty okay.
And Susie's taking me somewhere she won't tell me.
Oh, surprise. Good for you. What a good daughter.
Aubrey's good meeting.
Nice to meet
Have
you.
a wonderful
He's
day.
filming us.
Oh, yeah.
Lauren.
Have a
Well, here, wait a minute, and I'll get a. Let me get a still photo. What you building?
Just getting a little brush out here, so get back in here.
So you can see what?
So we're just fixing bills to do hotels and restaurants and stuff right here on these lots. We want to be able to see it in the center section. It's all got to come out anyway because we're going to have the sidewalk come up through here and do water line and all that stuff.
So you already got a Corps of Engineers permit to work in the creek. Well, you know what? Huh? Yeah.
He had the tree lady down here, and she said,
Well, it violates stormwater regulations, but the government gives exceptions to the stormwater regulations on everything they give.
Yep.
Did you know that? Yeah, they don't enforce any of it. Yeah, there should.
this stuff up here.
If you did it right, you would not take any vegetation from like 100 feet, not from the middle of the creek, but from the top. Well, I mean, if you want Beaver Lake to be, you know, last year when it rained so much, it was muddy all summer. All my buddies fishing would say, "Hey, I went all the way to Lost Bridge and there's muddy water practically the whole lake. What's wrong?" I said, "Well, it's coming from upstream somewhere." Yeah.
He's going to clear this out. She's going to come down and mark the tree lady is. Everything that stays and everything that goes out, we'll just chainsaw them out, leave the roots and everything.
So that's a smart thing, because that's the worst thing, because a lot of these trees and most of the understory, of course, The understory is where your birds nest,
Right.
6 to 12 feet.
Right.
All your songbirds.
Well, we're not allowed to take anything over 6 inches
Right.
or over 10 foot tall.
But a lot of people say, well, I don't want that brush in there. But then they got bird feeders out there,
Yeah.
you know.
Draw the birds in and get no place.
But there's nowhere to roost and nowhere to nest. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a hard deal. Ideally, you'd have every creek kept as natural as you can, because it's our water supply. And a fishing hole means as much to me as the water supply. Yeah, if it doesn't rain, y'all can get this done in a hurry, but it's
Oh, we're gonna quit here.
that gets to be a bog.
See,
It
the fiber optic line comes. See them posts there? There's a fiber optic line goes underneath this branch, and we don't know how deep it is.
And you can't dig
So-
without getting it.
We can go about where he is now, and we got to stop.
Yeah.
Then we can get maybe 5 foot above it
Uh-huh.
and get the rest of this out of here.
I see.
We'll have to leave this, go in there with a chainsaw and weed up, get it out.
Yeah.
You pull one of them things up.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we shut down the whole end of town. It'd be like an oil field with those flares going. Yeah. Oh, Lord. I grew up down in North Louisiana, and when you go somewhere at night, you just see all these flares and just burning off that gas. Now, I don't think they waste as much of that gas. It's worth
You know
too
what
much.
it was? It's got this powder coating deal.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
He's from Louisiana.
Yeah, I had to go talk to him. So.
Freeport, there.
Yeah, that's where I go.
He's been up here just about 20, 25 years.
I've been here about 35,
Is there
a little more. Well, I got to go to work.
Well,
See y'all later.
all right.
Good to
Thanks,
see you.
Sal.
Take care. Workers have gone on their lunch break. And just drive right in between those trees. Blowing dust. So hanging clothes out to dry is not going to be a good idea this afternoon. Got some in the washer. I think the backyard's going to get a little extra dust despite our vegetation on our property, but it just keeps coming. How many trucks a day are coming out here? We don't know exactly. Well, yeah, the other guy operating the machine just went to lunch with some kind of little scooter golf cart thing. I don't know if this guy's going to wait for an hour for him to come back or what. Well, there's a burn ban in Washington County. They're burning there. Yeah, I guess there's no No ban on stirring up dust. I wonder what the excuse will be. There's our house from the north. And that tree, I believe, was saved to be the centerpiece for the turnaround circle driveway. And, or maybe it's this one. I don't know. Somehow they're both there. Thank goodness. The next view out there, the oaks, the few oaks that are saved are there as part of the park dedicated area, parkland area. Cypresses are gone along the edge out there, except maybe we see the corner of one. Most of them are gone. This tree protection area next to Hoodenpile's yard. Nice touch. Thank goodness for that one. That's the park area that ends right here. And then a couple of trees saved there, and that one back there, that's outside the park. Very few trees outside the park, more inside the park than out. And the rest of the protected trees are along the stream bank. And you can see it's been cleared on the other side. And what they call a tree protection area extended up there to the railroad, which again are not trees that environmentally sensitive or important to wildlife as the ones down in the flat area, and particularly along the other side of the creek were. But we have to be grateful for what we have, because there was no tree administrator, professional tree administrator in place when this was decided. Apparently the sewer line's going down here near Hoodenpile. And Mr. Hoodenpile took out some trees on his own. We don't know why, but he thought it was best. Well, get down by the stream and it is beautiful, but it's just a small sample of the beautiful timber that was here. Just had no idea what they were doing. And less concerned. Man had the option of how to go about this development site. It would have been far different. Notice the tree protection fences are not even near the drip line. It's about halfway out to the drip line on these trees, so there's not any significant production. And this tree has a yellow band, and we don't know what that means. We'd like to think it's protected, but it's not surrounded by the fence. Looks like they dug a hole out there. Well, they put a railroad tie in the waterway here. A low place where it's going to drain to the creek. Just reinforce the silt fence. On the wrong side, of course, from the flow, but it shows some thinking. They don't know that railroad ties are not supposed to be in the waterway, that even an old one has some bad qualities. I don't know what that stake is down there. Is that where they're saying the property line is? Well, that's just terrific. It's awfully close to the creek. You can see across the creek a very low land that is the floodway of this stream. It was flooded 3 times pretty deep in 2004. At the time when houses got water in them downstream and other houses got surrounded downstream. These low places that are pretty steep in here. The dual silt fence is an interesting concept they used here. Like 2 worthless silt fences that add up to one good one. Well, we hope that turns out to be true, but silt fences are pretty much a joke. It's just something they can do to show they're following the rules. The fact that they don't make sure they're going to work seems to be beside the point. If this is working properly, you may see traffic on 6th Street way down here. Well, it appears there is one cypress. And of course it's in wetland. It was wetland. It's a little damp today. But that whole area out there was kind of wetland that protects the underground water, replenishes the underground water supply. Protects the stream by absorbing a lot of that water and purifying it before it enters the stream or the underground water. So it's pretty important. They've done what they can to change the lay of the land here somewhat radically. Now we've got There's some concrete left underground here. They've just kind of smoothed over it with dirt. And left tree snags. This is an outflow area. You can still see the line of the little stream. There was a low water bridge, which is buried under that thing there in the ditch. We'll go to another part of it up here that's a little deeper, the way they've left it. And of course there's a garbage pile. A lot of it was right here. I was thinking, oh good, they moved a lot of that. But then as I look further, they've still got the bulk of it there. So that hasn't been taken care of at all. And doesn't appear to interest them much. They just kept piling it there. Lovely. Yeah, one would naturally wonder where all the stuff went. There were some big old dumpsters used, many truckloads of various things, dirt, debris, whatnot, towed out of here. But for some weird reason, somebody thought putting it next to the stream was okay. So we don't know if this is one of the dozer drivers that just did this on his own, or he possibly had orders to do this. It is super nasty. All this stuff ready to go in the creek, I guess. What can you say about this? Drivers were not instructed properly. Tree preservation areas, not a dump. And the preservation fence is not really close enough to the creek to prevent damage, is it? I mean, it's not far enough from the creek to prevent damage. Excuse me, my wording was a little foolish. Here's the next drainage area, comes all the way from the railroad, or it did. It's hard to tell. I guess it's certainly been rerouted. And trying to see, I believe I see the culvert up there. Well, let's look at what we got here. Tree preservation takes in some little sprig here. Isn't that special? All the magnificent trees they took out, they're going to protect a little sprig. May or may not survive. It's got very few leaves and it's been battered rather badly. Well, never before could you see all the way to the corner of the Moody property. That would be the northwest corner of the Moody property in the background. And fine silt fence there. All the way across the creek. Seemed like a very long walk over there once upon a time. You can see here, this is the natural drainage area. There's mud piled up on the silt fence on the inside, which is what the silt fence is supposed to do, catch mud, not be supported on the wrong side by mud. Okay. Okay, here's where the low water bridge is, or was. It's really a low water bridge now because it no longer has the culvert open. You can't see the culvert. So they've got a route across there, and then there's part of it. And you can see the origin of water. If you look, I believe they left a little sprig of some kind above it in clearing the railroad. So I can see that was a beautiful spot, and I think it still is if you get under the brush. But it's quite different now, isn't it? So they just cleared that so the railroad could erode and possibly cause more derailments than in the past. I don't know if there's been a significant derailment on this stretch in the past, but it's not very far from here. Less than a mile. There have been derailments on parts of this track and its spurs, so makes you wonder. But anyway, this is where the stream flowed through, all the way from that culvert. Of course, it picked up water from that prairie area that they've now cleared out there. I'd have to have the plans in hand to see how that area is going to be developed. Well, there's a tree down in the tree protection area, still alive, but protected by poison ivy. Anybody touching it by hand. So this is the stream, silt fence, and their idea of how to manage a waterway. And if you look down, you can see this is a big tumbling waterfall out to the creek when things were natural. Beautiful spot. Changed forever. I assume they're going to build some fancy outflow here to replace this, but till they do, all this is vulnerable to ridiculous types of erosion and siltation of the stream and so forth. Just unbelievable. Now this is the time of year when I walk through this space. Involved a lot of trees, a lot of shade, but some little patches that were open. We've got some old photos out that show the assorted wildflowers growing out there. And we're on this very, very much disturbed area where they've piled a lot of the blacktop outside the silt fence, and this is pretty strange, but left over from the old streets in the development site. But you notice some things have survived here. We do have a bloom or two, and that's nice. Although we'd like to think that we could turn our back and turn around and see thousands of other living species out there, healthy, the way they were just a few months ago. I'm sure that the reason we have so many owls, so many songbirds, so many raccoons and opossums and other creatures visiting our yard, our porch, hawks like the kestrels hunting very openly in the trees around our yard. It's a little something to do with, just a little something to do with the thousands of trees of all sizes and the wonderful underbrush that's been removed from this area. And of course, we don't have any homeless people sleeping back here. Their old mattresses were not removed. They dumped more stuff over the fence in here. They didn't remove anything that looks like it was here for a while. And the homeless folks are not going to be bothering anybody here. Isn't that special? Well, maybe they'll burglarize somebody's house or sleep in somebody's garage, on their porches, and get arrested and just for being unable to provide for themselves properly. Strange tree protection area. I thought it was much bigger than it turned out to be on their plan. So it's pretty small. And it doesn't have many trees right in that area in here. And it's all a disappointment coming from where they started with what they said they were going to do here. It's simply not happening. Thank you for leaving us the riparian area of the stream. Although, if this is outside the silt fence and part of a tree protection area, as that sign suggests, why did the bulldozer come over here to turn around? Why didn't they stay in the area they were allowed to destroy? You can see some dying trees, and some of that's been the weather. Some of it's just getting knocked down and not quite crushed, so you can see on that one. Probably a victim of the weather. It was a nice young tree. Okay, as this sign suggests, we're in the protected area, and this trail's not getting used very much, and we're grateful that they haven't bulldozed all this in their idea of a tree protection area being where you replant some. Unfortunately, our cities adopted regulations that allow replacement of magnificent trees. And frustration and lack of understanding that shows, frustration it creates, and the lack of understanding it shows, is just enormous. But this was drivable, actually, and I'm sure they'll be driving it again. Now then, we can see the so-called tree protection or whatever fence above the creek. That's what they call the alternate crossing of the creek side. And the alternate crossing is a spur of the railroad that came down from your left at an angle and allowed interaction between the east-west track that's been cleared out for several years and the north-south track that still operates and exists. If you get up a little higher, you may be able to see the overpass and get an idea of your perspective here. But these alternate crossing in the trail, of course, are now treeless trails. You can see the Coors plant, Coors Distributors building up there on Hill Avenue from here. Obviously, you couldn't see anywhere near that in the past. We didn't want to see it from here. You can see it from the street if you want to see it. Well, this is a nice thicket, but it's it doesn't have the key ingredient we like, which is to have just the honeysuckle removed and allow the wildflowers to bloom freely. But it's better than no protected area, small as it is. And there's a nice plant blooming. Very pretty. Just so few of them getting up through the honeysuckle. But there is a seed base all over this area of many wild plants. There you can see the Pinnacle food plant from the north, and the railroad embankment cleared as far as they could go around the bend there, this property. And that concrete structure has to do with it's a thing to guide the water that comes under the railroad. And as it indicates from its shape there, it brings the water out this way. Very natural looking stream that ran through there and entered the creek down in the low area. And there were a couple of places to cross it there. One of them, a low water bridge with a culvert, and the culvert's just blocked off now. It had no consideration for that. You can see the reflection from a car in the driveway at 1101 South Duncan. You can see, that's from across the street. Smith House is across that street. And then Hoodenpyle's barn. And the pairing zone, the zigs and zags. And the lowland cleared on the other side, all of it wetland. And it went up to that silt fence. And further down it splits away from it. Back this way, see the little small tree protection area and the railroad crossing 6th Street up there. And that's actually a portion of South Duncan up there. Anyway, it's pretty ugly, some would say. And well, in the background is the site of the Fayetteville Country Club. A beautiful place. Of course, they're going to build a road out about equivalent of the equivalent of more than 2 blocks. It's 11th Street to 12th Street. 11th being the extension there runs along that silt fence, but then 12th Street's a lot more than a common block out there from there. And run it into South Duncan as the plans were last stated to us publicly. Oh, there's your stream. Somewhere they're going to dig a pond out here. That's delightful. And of all those trees, you see what few are saved. Few are saved. Here's some that clearly on the railroad property, I guess, and they didn't have the temerity to clear it here as they did further down. Just because you could buy that land up that close to the railroad would not logically lead you to believe you could clear it legally or responsibly, one would think. But that's not the way these people think. course, in the background, there's the wooded area is the edge of the World Peace Wetland Prairie. Thank goodness we have that saved. It extends from up there down behind there. What in the world were they thinking? Not from the point of view of a biologist or environmentalist or any of those people, but just from the pure convenience of the developer. You see that tiny tree protection area now leads you to Treeless Trail, which will be coming up your left. It's certainly going to be a treeless trail. They've got these tree protection or something fences, but they took all the vegetation off the edge and allowed it to erode into the stream there with no concern for silt fencing. No concern for that at all. All that rubble outside the protection line. And you can see that we're over the stream here. And from some angles, it's still somewhat natural. It doesn't look so natural out that way. And right here, they've just boldly cut it on to heck, right down to the color. Little erosion potential here. What's with that? Directly